All right, today I'm going to teach you how to play one of my favorite Doobie Brothers songs, Long Train Runnin', all right? And it's basically the same thing over and over and over in the song. So after you get it, you'll be all set, basically. You'll be able to play this till the proverbial cows come home, or whatever other animal is coming to your house later on this evening. All right, so the song utilizes mostly bar chords, okay, up the fretboard. So I'm actually going to start here with barring the entire 5th fret. And I'm not actually going to worry about telling you chord names here today. All right, these are all different chords. I'm not going to tell you the chord names just in case you are a beginner and you're not familiar with that. I'm actually just going to walk you through the positioning and the finger position for each one. So again, starting at the 5th fret on your ukulele, I'm barring that entire, I'm barring the entire fretboard, all the strings, okay? And then the first part of the song is going to be a hammer-on, okay? Hammer-on is basically when you take your fingers and you go and you tap them on kind of hard, kind of like I guess like you would use a hammer. I don't really know if I understand the name origin there, but that's what it's called, right? So you strum down, and then put those fingers on, okay? And the fingers are going to go on the C string on the 7th fret, and then on the E string on the 6th fret, okay? G, C, E, A, okay? So 7th fret on the C string, 6th fret on the E string, and then your your index finger is going to continue to cover that entire 5th fret, the entire 5th fret, and so your G and your A strings will actually play the 5th fret, okay? Does that make sense? So, okay, that's your first chord positioning, I suppose, on the song, okay? Okay, and then after it does that a couple times, we're going to drop down this barred finger, index finger, down to the 3rd fret, cover that entire 3rd fret, and we have another hammer on, an easier one as a matter of fact. We're going to hammer on your ring finger on that 5th fret on the very top string there, on the G string. So, I know, G string, you're going to have to get over that joke, by the way. It's not funny anymore. Okay, so that's your second one. So again, 3rd fret entirely barred, and then hammer on a ring finger on the 5th fret on the G string. Okay, so again, going back to that first one, we have the 5th fret, and then we're hammering on with the ring finger on the 7th fret on the C string, 6th fret with the middle finger on the E string. Okay, so it repeats that, and then drop down to that 3rd fret. Okay, and then come back up to the same position we started with it. Okay, and then the part that goes love, 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 that part is going to be, again, we're going to bar the entirety of the 6th fret. Okay, so we're barring that with our index finger once again. We're doing that a lot. We're doing that basically through the whole song with your index finger. 6th fret, and then we're going to hammer on to that 7th fret on the, we're not going to hammer onto that. That's just going to be there. That's the chord positioning, is the 6th fret barred, and then that 7th fret on the C string. That creates that 7th chord right there. And then we're going to drop that whole thing down, keep the same positions, just drop it down 1 fret. So we're barring the entire 5th fret, and with our middle finger on the 6th fret on the C string. Okay, does that make sense? So again, going back up. Love, 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 love. Okay, so again, that is the same chord positioning. We're just changing our frets. Okay, so the first part, the beginning of that starts with the 6th fret covered up, and then the middle finger on the 7th fret of the C string, and then dropping that whole position down 1 fret. Okay, so you're covering the 5th fret with your index finger, and then your middle finger on the 6th fret on the C string. Hope that makes sense. Okay, so again, those chords, going back to the beginning, starting on the 5th fret. We'll work on the rhythm here in a minute, don't worry. Okay, and then there's that 7th chord. Okay, and that is basically the only chord you're going to need to know for the song. So other than that, it's just getting the rhythm right, okay? And the rhythm, it's interesting, it's called Long Train Running, and it kind of has that chugga, 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 like a train, you know? That's kind of the rhythm of the song. Very interesting. I don't know if they intended to do that or just accidentally or subconsciously did that, but it's kind of cool. So the rhythm we're going to start off with, I'll just play the whole thing for you. So the rhythm is basically that chugga, 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 chugga thing the whole time, right? And so again, we're going to start back there at that first chord position that we talked about with the 5th fret barred, hammering on that 7th and 6th fret on the C and E string respectively. And so we're just going to go very, very slow. Okay, that's that first part. So again, down is where you hammer on there. And you see my hand constantly moving like this throughout the song, okay? And that's intentional. Like, your hand should always be moving, whether you're hitting the strings or not. I believe that your hand should be doing this throughout the entirety of the song, like you're shaking hands right with the song. So you see that one part after that, my hand's still moving, I'm just not hitting it on that stroke. I could hit it if I wanted to, and that's up to you. That's what it would sound like if you hit every 16th note there. Da 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 da. 1 E and a 2. That's what it would sound like. I only hit 1 E and 2. I only like to play that 1 E and 2 and have that little hesitation in there. Okay? So it's up to you what you want to do with that, okay? So again, let's go real slow. 1 E and 2. You can do it like that. 1 E and 2. It's hard once you start playing it fast, it's hard to slow it down. 1 E and 2. It's hard to do that. Dum, da, da. So I'm kind of moving off to the side, but anyway, it's down and down. Down, up, down, and you have that hammer on in there. Right? 1 E and 2, so your hammer-on's actually taking care of that 1 E. I'm kind of dissecting it as I go along here, but 1 E and 2. Okay? And then, does that make sense? Or you could play all the notes. 1 E and 2, 1 E and 2. You could play all the notes there if you really wanted to, but I think it kind of ruins the feel of it, because part of the feel of it is that almost like a reverse of an accent note when you hammer on there. It's a little bit softer on the 1 E because you're hammering on and not actually strumming it. 1 E and 2. So I would recommend doing that. 1, hammer on, E, and then come up on and 2. Up, down. 1 E and 2. That makes sense? Okay. So the next part is just muting the strings, and you can just hold your position there with your fingers. Again, this is like applying pressure and not applying pressure, right? That's the whole idea. So whenever I play with pressure on the strings, right? When I lift up my fingers and don't apply pressure and just touch the strings, right? It's just kind of chugging along there, right? So 1 E and 2, chugga chugga. Okay? 1 E and 2, chugga chugga. 1 E and 2 and 1 E and 2 and a 3 and a 4 E and a all right, you get the idea. So we're doing that little chugga part for the next part of the rhythm. 1 E and 2, chugga chugga. Okay? And then we're doing a pull off there. Chugga chugga bum bum. And I just go down down up and pull off on the up there. And you can I'll get into that in a second here. So let's play it with play it really slow. Okay? Or if you want to play it with with all the notes, with basically you're pressing down on all of it, you're applying pressure to all of them, you can do that. And then pull off and go back to that barred 5th fret, right? Whenever you let go of that, bum bum up, and you're letting off of that. Or you could do what I do, which is you kind of mute the strings on that note in between. Let me do it again. like that. Okay, so bum, so bum, bum, chugga chugga bump, chug, and so I'm kind of letting go on that note in the middle there, or not letting go, but letting up the pressure. So I'm just doing the chug right there. Okay. That makes sense. Okay. All right. So then that next part, you just drop that whole thing down to the. By the way, when you hold this for the for a tutorial video, your hand gets kind of cramped. So, okay, same thing, same rhythm, and same hammer-on position and everything else. Okay. Again, if you want to do that chug in the middle there, do that, or you can go. It's up to you. Honey and two chugga chugga bum 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 chugga chugga bum bum bum, and then it goes back to the chord that we started with, the chord positioning and the hammer on that we started with. Bum bum chugga chugga bum 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 chugga chugga bum bum, and then this next part that goes without love. It's just that position we talked about, covering the 6th fret with your index finger and your middle finger on that 7th fret of the C string. And that part, I just leave pressure on the whole time. You can play it however you want to, but this is how I like to play it. I just like to go down. So I like to go down and let it breathe. Bum, 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 down, 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 down. And then drop the whole thing down 1 fret, right? And same thing. But it's that kind of funky rhythm. It's got that kind of funk type of rhythm throughout the whole song, right? That's kind of obvious. That was what was popular at the time. Or if you wanted to, you could even mix in some chuggas in there, right? You can mess around with pressing down on certain parts and lifting up to mute the strings on other parts and do something like, right? You could get really funky with it, really disco with it if you wanted to, okay? It's up to you how you want to do it. Obviously, what I always say is that music is a wonderful thing because you can take it and you can make it your own and interpret it in a different way. But again, that's kind of the whole song right there. That's Long Train Running. That's how to play the whole thing and how to play it on ukulele. So one more time, let's play through it really slowly, the whole thing. Nope. Let's start with the right chords. How about? Something. I don't know the words to this song. Boop, boop. Without love, where would you be right now? Without love, 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 love. All right. Happy playing. Hope this helped you out a little bit. If it did, give me a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. I'll try to do some other ukulele tutorials and stuff in the future.